In lesson 14.2, we are going to talk about two-step equations. So that's really putting together all of the information we learned in 14.1 with our one-step equations, where we had to do the inverse for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Now think about this. I want you to actually do this. Pause the video. No, I'm serious. Pause the video, do this problem, and then I want to walk through it with you. So the rugby club needs to purchase 20 jerseys. That's how many they're looking for. Now the cost is given by this formula. Think about Iowa Sports Supply, right? So they might charge you an initial printing fee, like to design the logo and make that design one time. That's the $100. So you get charged $100 one time. Plus, they also have to buy the jerseys. So each jersey costs $20, like just the plain jersey with no printing on it. So a one-time fee of $100 plus your jerseys that are $20 a piece. Now, we are given that the cost is $400. So since that is the cost, that is our C value, I'm going to substitute that in for C. So 400 is equal to 100 plus 20 over n. So I'm going to show you the work of two students. I want you to think about who did the math correctly. So go ahead, pause this video and see, did Bob or Benita do their work correctly? Okay, so Bob first added 120 and he got 120n. So by Bob doing that, he's saying we have to pay that $100 purchase fee every single time for every jersey. So each jersey, holy cow, is $120. That's what Bob's saying. Each jersey is $120. Therefore, we could only get about 3 1/3 jerseys for $400. Are you kidding me? 3 1/3 jerseys for $400. Let's check out Benita's work. Benita's work, first she subtracted 100. Now, that makes sense, right? Because if we have a total cost of $400 and we have to pay that printing fee one time and one time only, I'm going to subtract that off to see how much is left to just pay for the jerseys. So $300. And we know that it costs $20, not $120 per jersey. So 300 divided by 20 results in 15. Now think about that. 15 jerseys is how many you could get for $400. That seems much more reasonable. And that would be the correct answer. And what Benita did was follow the correct order of operations for two-step equations. Now, we haven't even talked about the correct order for them, but just using our logic and our thinking, we can see that her work was right and supports what was happening in this scenario. Okay, so first, to solve a two-step equation, just like the one step, the goal is to isolate the variable, get it by itself. So first, we need to add or subtract to remove the numeric value, so the number that's by itself. Then we multiply or divide to remove the coefficient of x. So first we worry about the plain old number, just the numeric value, and then we worry about the number that is right next to the x. So what better way than to look at an example? On number 1 here, we have negative 6n plus 5 equals 59. The numeric value, the plain number, would be 5. Well, how are we getting 5? It is plus 5. What is the inverse of adding 5? It would be subtracting 5 from both sides. Now, we are subtracting 5 from the numeric values on those sides. Notice that. It's not getting subtracted from the n value, just the numeric, because a positive 5 minus 5 is 0. I still have negative 6n on the left side. And then we have 59 minus 5, which is 54. At this point, it becomes a one-step equation. That's why it's called a two-step equation. First we do one step, and then we result in a one-step equation. So 2 steps total. Right now I have negative 6 times n. What is the inverse of multiplying by negative 6? Dividing by negative 6. So I have to divide both sides by negative 6. And I result in n is equal to negative 9. All right. Number 2, my first step. I have a negative 1. We haven't seen one like this quite yet, where we have a negative number that's out front. So that's my numeric value. There's no variable. What is the opposite of negative 1? I hope you said plus 1. We got to add 1 to both sides. So then we have 0 there, which was our goal. So I have x over 6 is equal to negative 2 plus 1 would be negative 1. Now, I'm dividing by 6. What's the inverse of dividing by 6? Multiply by 6. Got to do it to both sides, right? So then that becomes 1, and I have x is equal to negative 1 times 6 is negative 6. If you feel good, go ahead, pause my video and skip ahead a little bit and just check your answers. If you're not quite there yet, that's okay. We'll walk through a couple more together. All right, on this next one, I have that negative 3 out front, so I got to add 3 to both sides. That would be the inverse operation. So still have v over 5 is equal to 0 plus 3 is 3. Next step, I have to get rid of, divide by 5. How do I do that? The inverse, which is multiply by 5. So v is equal to 3 times 5 is 15. And the last one here, I have to get rid of this positive 1 that's out front right now, right? Because it's a positive, there's nothing in front of it. So the inverse would be to subtract 1 from both sides. So negative 7b is equal to negative 20 minus 1. We're going more negative, would be negative 21. Then I have to get rid of multiply by negative 7. So the inverse would be to divide by negative 7. So b is equal to a negative divided by a negative is a positive. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So b is equal to positive 3. Before you go off on your own for these next 4, I want to walk through number 5 with you because it's got a little something special going on, something that we haven't talked about yet. So first I get rid of the numerical value, which is negative 5. So to do that, I would add 5 to both sides. So I have negative k is equal to 5. However, is the variable isolated? Nope. Because we have this negative sign in front. Well, if it's a negative k, really what number should be there? I hope you said negative 1, right? Because just k is 1, so a negative k would be a negative 1k. So we actually have to get rid of that negative 1. We cannot leave it there. The variable is not isolated. So to do so, we divide both sides by negative 1. There we go. So k is equal to negative 5. All right, go ahead, pause it, and then check in with your answers for the next 3. All right, for number 5, we get k is equal to negative 5. Number 6, a is equal to negative 16. Number 7, x equals 5. And number 8, p is equal to 8. Now, if you did not get one of these answers, pause this screen right here and go through and check my work. I try to do each of the 2 steps in a different color so you can see exactly what I did to both sides and how I resulted in the next step. But we're going to pause here and we're going to finish up with some more examples in the next video.